This is Question Time at Alhambra Investments. It's the place that Joe Calhoun always answers the questions that are on your mind. So, Steve Brennan, what's on the mind today?
Well, what's on my mind today is I've noticed as a professional doing this for a while, markets may be efficient over long periods of time, but on shorter periods, we seem to be increasingly driven by gambling psychology. Joe, what do you think of the impact of society promoting, legalizing gambling is having on financial markets?
Well, I don't think it's good. That's to put it really simply. Look, I have been writing about this and talking about this for quite a while. You know, we legalized sports gambling in 2018. The Supreme Court ruled on that, and basically, I think it's 38 states now have legalized sports gambling. The amount of gambling in this country has gone just bananas over the last few years. I've actually got some numbers here. 2023 sports betting, the take was up 11 billion up 11 billion, 46%. Table game was up 3.5. iGaming, which is something online, up 23%. Fourth quarter versus fourth quarter of 22, it's up 35%. It's just. And you've had a new record for gambling revenue every year for the last 3 years. And it does spill over into the markets. And look, I don't want to sound like some fuddy-duddy or something. I don't like gambling on sports. I don't like it. I'll just be blunt. I grew up at a time when, the guys who were gambling on sports were, sleazeballs. And you either had to go to Vegas or you had to know somebody, or you couldn't bet on sports. And the athletes certainly, were not involved, or at least not usually. We had the big scandal with Pete Rose, obviously still not in the Hall of Fame, which is a scandal in and of itself. You can go back to the Black Sox, 1919, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and all those guys who got banned from baseball by Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Gambling has been a problem with sports since it was started. So now it is boiling over. And listen, there are the sports gambling in particular is about young people, young men very specifically. Young men are wasting their lives doing this stuff. I read articles about kids who have gambled away their student loan money. They get their student loan money and gambled it away, or they've got an inheritance and gambled it away. And because you get it on your phone now, you can do it anywhere. People, wake up in the morning, they're in bed, instead of checking Twitter or whatever, or checking the market, they're checking the odds. And they've got this thing down where the algorithms just keep pumping stuff in front of these guys, and it's an addiction. There's probably 6 to 8 million people in this country that are gambling addicted. And that's probably a low ball number. That's the number I came up with doing a little bit of research. It is, I think we will look back on this 20 years from now and realize this is one of the biggest mistakes we have ever made in our society, was to let gambling become okay. Gambling is no longer, it's no longer something that is it's not looked down on anymore. It used to be the guy that was gambling away the lunch money and the frickin' rent. He was a bad guy. And now it's like, oh, well, I'll go take out a payday loan or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But it has leaked over into markets. And I'll tell you the place that to me, I mean, look, we see, everybody knows about the Reddit stuff, the meme stocks and all these things, GameStop and all these other things. To me, that's one form of it. But the more insidious form is in the options market. Look, I spent 10 years of my career trading options, and we used to joke, look, my job is to go and sell options to idiots, because everybody, if you want to know how to trade options, don't ever buy them. Be a seller, because you're the house. You can decide to be the house, or you can decide to be the idiot putting down your money trying to make a gamble on something going up or down. If you're doing it on individual stocks, you're going to have to figure out, not only is it going up or down, you got to figure out when it's going to go up and down. Yeah, good luck with that. That's why 90% of options expire worthless. And that's why I made a career out of selling them. You know, I don't understand why people think that they can do this. Now, we've had a new innovation, if you want to call it that, an innovation called ZeroDay expiration options. It's a one-day bet, one freaking day. I mean, I understand that people trade more today. It's too easy. You know, you got it on your phone. You can go and trade on Robinhood or whatever the hell you want to do. And everybody's focus is on the short term. But one day, oh my God. You know, the average holding period, it used to be back 20, 30, 40 years ago was measured in years. Now it's measured in days, and it's getting to the point where it's going to be measured in hours. It's absolutely insane. Listen, 43% of the options activity in the market today is ZeroDay expiration options. People making one-day bets on the market. And it's not just the market, it's individual stocks, it's all kinds of things. Look, yes, you're right, Steve. We see a lot of gambling in the market. And, you know, it doesn't make it, you know, it just makes it that much worse. People always had this idea that what we do is a kind of gambling, right? We're just gambling on these stocks. Well, now it's become true. It almost is. And what it does too is it creates volatility, and it makes people make mistakes. You know, you look at it, listen, call it what you want. Hedge funds, this unwind over the last 3 days of the yen carry trade. What is that? It's gambling. You're not investing in anything. You're borrowing short, you're lending long, or you're buying some, you know, long duration asset like a stock. It's gambling. You can call it what you want, but it's gambling. And when it unwinds, what does it do? So what do we get? We got 3 days, market drops, NASDAQ down over, what, 12% at the low? And then it comes all back in a few days because it was based on nothing. So you create this volatility, and it induces people to make a mistake. How many people screwed up part of their retirement plan on Monday by selling because they got scared? Actually, the best thing that happened on Monday was Robinhood went down. Robinhood and Schwab both had trading problems. People couldn't sell. It's probably the best thing that could have happened to them. Look, I do get upset about this because I think it is absolutely, it's damaging to society. It's not a good thing. You know, all these people, you know, sports gambling, I keep coming back to that because that's the one that really bugs me, because I love sports. And you know what? I don't watch pro football anymore. I've given up. I don't want to watch. I think it's, I don't know if it's fixed, but it is not what it used to be. And it is too much. Everybody's focused. And you know, I hate it when you get in the middle of a game, you start watching a game, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, whatever it is, and they start talking about the odds on stuff during the game. The announcers have become, you know, they're bookies. They might as well be bookies. It's stupid. And I don't want to sit there and listen to these guys talk about, well, you know, the odds on a touchdown in the third quarter. What? Really? Can't you just watch the game and be happy your team won, or you know, be pissed and go have a beer because you lost? I don't know. But it is not, I can't watch it anymore. I still watch NBA. I love the NBA, but you know what? We've already had a scandal there where a guy's been banned for life. Why? Because he was out there doing something. We don't know what he was doing. We know he was involved with gamblers somehow. We had the Ohtani situation in Major League Baseball where his interpreter was out there gambling millions of dollars of his money. And you know what? Let's talk about that too, I suppose. How much money do these guys have to make? Oh my God. Ohtani had so goddamn much money that his interpreter stole $10 million from him. He didn't even notice. I think we put the importance in our society in the wrong places. We are putting an emphasis on sports people, entertainment people who don't add anything to society. They just don't. I mean, look, we all grew up with our sports heroes, you know. My cap over there is a Carl Yastrzemski hat. Okay, it's hanging over there because I loved Carl Yastrzemski. I loved the Red Sox growing up. They were my heroes. But you know, they were regular guys back then. They weren't making millions and millions of dollars a year. I see this guy, see these people. Some of these contracts are getting signed in the NFL. $400 million. What? We have gone insane, in my opinion. And listen, the money is there because of the gambling. You don't do these $500 million contracts if gambling's not happening, because all these leagues and all these teams are getting compensated for this stuff. It's corrupt. And I don't know how long it will take, but there will come a point. And listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't go away. Go to the UK. Go to London, man. You can bet on anything. You can bet on the election. They don't care. And it's a gambling culture over there. It always has been. It's much greater than here. And in Asia, it's even worse. So maybe we're just joining the rest of the world. But maybe we need to go back to a little bit of our Puritan roots and maybe make this a stigma. Maybe you ought not be gambling to freaking milk money. It's just a recipe for disaster. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we won't. But I won't participate. And yes, it has infected markets. I don't like it, but it's something we have to deal with. We get more volatility. It's the way life is. We deal with it. Anyway, I'll stop ranting because I know other people like to gamble and they're going to gamble, and I can't do anything about it. And I'm just stick in the mud, whatever. But just be careful out there. If you are gambling, try not to gamble with. And I say this milk money. It was a joke from a guy that taught me about this business many years ago. And he's like, he traded futures, futures mostly on weird things. He liked to trade lumber because it would gap open all the time, gap up, gap down. He was like, oh yeah, it's great. And he said, just don't gamble the milk money. And so same thing here. Just don't gamble the milk money. All right. That's all I got.
Yep. He's passionate. Send us your questions for Joe. Put them in the comment section down below.